Hello, my stitchy friends. It's a it's a glorious morning here today. It's cool. There's a nice breeze coming in from the window. Kitty's happy. Okay, today we're going to I keep forgetting I'm going to use this hashtag for my stitch books, and I'm going to do more. I'm starting a new one today. Um, as always, please hit the hype button. There's links in the description to my Facebook and my Ko-fi site. I'm going to use some of these patterns, I think, with our new book, and I'm going to have some new patterns coming out. This is the one that I'm working on putting there right now. It's more like this, but it's larger. I opened it up on my computer and made it larger and just copied onto a piece of paper so that I can copy that onto what I'm working on. I cut a bunch of pieces of fabric. I have backing fabrics. This is just flour sack kitchen towel. This I think is the same thing, but it's tea dyed. This is some linen. I think this is linen too, and I avocado dyed that one. This is also avocado dyed. I think this was the kitchen towel that I was using to clean up, and I thought it looked pretty cool, so I didn't wash it out. Anyway, so we're going to start with one piece of fabric on top and one on the bottom. And today I'm going to trace my fabric onto the back because I'm going to stitch from the back. I'm going to trace this onto this back piece and stitch from the back. I used to apologize for the Mitzi hair on all my stuff, and I stopped because you can't see it. And probably nobody cares. I know I don't. There's Mitzi hair everywhere. She's here and she gets into everything. This gray mat is a wool mat that I used to have on my ironing board, and she used to get up there and on it and sleep, and I wasn't crazy about that, so I moved it. Then when I put it here, I forgot that she was trying to sleep on it, and now she's sleeping on it again. Anyway, doesn't matter. So these are the threads that I'm using today. If I don't tell you, somebody will ask and I won't remember. I have 989. I have 34. I have 3866. And I have 310. You may notice there's another number there on them. That number is the column. I have a spreadsheet that I bought on Etsy that has listed all the DMC threads, and it lists them by color in columns. So I took that and I put it on my thread drops and I organized them into columns. Now, I think I would normally baste this together, but because I don't want to, I'm just gonna sew some. I'm just gonna do a quick running stitch I'm doing short in the front and long on the back. It's kind of a basting stitch, right? But this one is more than being decorative, it's functional. There we go. That looks nice. Let's just tack it down with one stitch. Because I might want to remove it later, I don't know. Then let's do the same thing in the, oh, can you hear the kitty? She wants a tent. I'll be right back. Okay, that's done. Let's put this, as I already decided it's going to go there. Tack this down along with it. My cat does this thing where she gets on the couch and she sort of claws at the fabric of the blanket. And now she's started to get up there and talks to me. She gets up there and just does a little meow. And I've come to learn that what that means is that she wants a little tent. She likes the blanket over top of her, but not like on her. Just a little tent. Okay. Now, that might come out later. I'm going to do, I have this black. And I threaded these and put knots, but I didn't cut off the little tail end of the knot. And I'm going to just do a little running stitch. Tiny stitches. I'm using embroidery needles. Don't know what size they are. I think I got a pack of like size 3 through 9 or something like that. And they go through the fabric really easily. And they're nice to use. So this book is going to be just things that I love, things that I like, things that I like to do, that kind of thing. I have this idea. This, of course, had to be the first one because she is my favorite thing in the whole world. If you have a cat, I live alone and have a cat. And you might know what it's like. We love our fur babies, right? My my grandkids are at that age where they don't need their grandma so much, and they have their own activities, keeps their mom pretty busy. You know, she's pretty busy, and Anyway, I don't see them a lot. I'm not so involved in their lives. So my cat means a lot to me. Don't get me wrong. I'm I'm not lonely, right? I know that sometimes people think that when you live alone that you're lonely. I'm not. I just live alone and I like it. I like it a lot. I never lived alone um, in my life until I think I was almost 50 years old when my second husband and I got divorced and my daughter was um, grown and gone. And I realized that I was alone for the first time in my life. And first it was a little scary, like, wow. Um, 6 months later, I told my friend that I was afraid I was going to really like it a lot and then not, want to have someone else in my life. And yeah, I don't need or want someone else in my life, in my space, let's say. I'm kind of thinking about, well, no, I'm looking for a like a senior apartment complex or something. Because, I wouldn't mind having other old geezers around to chat with and stuff. Okay, if I sew this entire thing on camera, it would be an hour long and then it's hard to upload. I'm going to finish stitching the cat off camera and come back. Okay, that's done. Now I think I'm going to take out this stitching here because I don't really need it. Don't want it. And what I want to do is cut away. First, I'm going to cut this here. Like that. Then I'm going to cut here. Oh, you know what? This is really hard to do on camera, and I don't want to. Yeah, I'm going to do this off camera. Okay. You can't see the stitches. That's okay. I see them. I see you. I'm going to get some white because my kitty cat is not really, she's not technically a black cat. She is a tuxedo kitty. So she has these little white paws. So I'm just gonna stab stitch and do these little straight stitches. Just to, suggest that she has white paws. She also has a white chest, but you can't see her chest in this um, thingy. Um, but you get the idea. And that's all I wanted, was to get the idea. I was thinking also of a friend on Facebook, Shirley, who watches my channel. She's from Canada. And she has an orange kitty. And I know that she'll do an orange kitty. And I'm curious to see if she'll turn it into a like an orange kitty, or if she'll make it a what do you call it? Like a burnt umber, or one of those other colors. More like a cat-like color. Like, tan. Anyway. I want to put some lettering on here. And it could be cool to do the Soft Kitty song, from the Big Bang Theory. I don't know if you watched the Big Bang Theory. I watched it with my grandkids probably a dozen times from beginning to end. We still watch it when my granddaughter comes over. That's her favorite thing to watch, the Big Bang Theory. We also watch Friends. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I want to attach this purple, this thing. Oh my gosh. This is, well, I had this idea that I would put it this way. Now it's going to take up way more room than what I was thinking. Let's do this. Let's make this just sort of a frame edging. Okay. This fabric is something that I bought. I just love it. Found it on Etsy, and I bought a lot. And I was making a I started a quilt. I have this pattern. I have this book that has large print quilt patterns. I have a book that has large print quilt patterns. And I made one because I had this lovely oh, you know what I think I'm going to do? Here it is. Here it is. This is just some Elmer's Craft Bond. I'm going to just put a tad bit right there. That's just to hold it in place. That is the lazy person way of tacking things down. I shouldn't say that. I saw Jennifer Clouston do that. I would not call her lazy. So maybe it's just a lazy way. And it didn't stay down. That's fine. We're gonna go down this side next anyway. If I used a hoop, it wouldn't be such an issue. But I don't want to. I don't like to use a hoop. I didn't learn with a hoop. And I tell people that if you're just learning, you should learn with a hoop so that it's not uncomfortable to use one. You know, I've been stitching since I was I've been stitching for a very long time, since I was a small child, and my mother never used a hoop. I learned to sew on a sewing machine, and I think that most people learn the other way. Like you learn to hand stitch first and then learn on a machine. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, next, I think I'm going to go down this side with an overcast stitch. I don't know why. Just feel like doing an overcast stitch here. I'm going to catch the edge. I don't really do applique. This is my version of applique. I just take the edge and tack it down. Or like what I did with the cat. I just did a running stitch around it. Birds are lovely out there today. I don't know what kind of birds those are, but they sure are pretty. I think that one has a nest nearby. I hear that one often. Okay. The next thing that I want to do on this is this just needs some a little lazy daisy. Little lazy daisy stitches there. I also have gold I could add to this, but for right now, let's just do little daisy stitches. And they're not going to connect in the center. They're just going to kind of fill in here. Not fill in, but you know. That just said, stitch me. It's very subtle. You can hardly see it. That's fine. That's what I want. Next, I want to do some seed stitches. And they take a really long time. It's a wonderful, slow stitch practice. Not always good for filming. And I'm going to do some green bottom here. Let's pretend to give her some grass. So seed stitches, just straight stitches, just placed randomly around. And you can stab stitch like I'm doing here, which means that you go up and pull through, and then you go back down, pull through. You can use the sewing method, which is where you go down and then come back up and pull through. I don't know why. I don't normally, I shouldn't say that. I usually use the sewing method, but for this stitch, I like to stab. I don't know why, but it does take a really long time. I'm going to do that off camera. All right, there's my little green. I might do more of that, I don't know. I was very excited to do this. I learned something from Willow Wanders on YouTube. I decided this is what I'm going to put here because it's about all that'll fit. I counted the letters and spaces, and there's 18. So this is 9, that's the halfway point. And what I did is I started in the middle and I went this way, and then I went that way. So I sort of did it backwards, kind of. Half of it is backwards. So I'm also going to do, when I do the stitching, I'm going to do it backwards. But you know what? Let's start with the front part. I'm going to do a back stitch. Now, I think I forgot to mention I have 3 strands of the DMC floss. I don't usually use all 6 strands, so I have 3 this time. I'm going to take 1 stitch forward, then I'm going to go back 1 stitch and forward like 2 stitches. And I might want to switch and use 2 strands and smaller stitches, like, a shorter stitch length. So I'm going to stab stitch this. Because it'll be easier to get, like, get the stitches to connect. See there, I've already got 2 that don't really connect. You could do all capital letters and do block letters. Now I have to fill in this. And I guess I don't have to, but it will bother me. I don't. Okay. Now, for these L's, I think I'm going to do the L's next. You could do just one stitch. I don't think I would like the way that would that would look with all the rest of it. Tiny stitches like this. So I'm going to do all the little tiny stitches. Excuse me. I wanted one of those slightly taller than the other one, but I guess it just didn't work out that way. I sort of like the little wonky kind of thing that happened. So I'm going to leave it. I don't always like that kind of thing, but today I'm liking it. Well, I think I have to, unfortunately, I have to do this off camera, or this video will be really long, and then I can't upload. So, so I'll be back. Okay, so that's done, and I ironed out the blue marks there and on the back, and I have one more color 209, and I have one, this is, I forgot already, 2 strands of purple and 1 of white, and I want to do some little 5-petal flowers, lazy daisy flowers. So first I'm going to put one right here, sort of coming off the edge. That's very close to that color there, isn't it? Wrap the thread around the needle and down to the back. Back into the center. I'm going to go this way. Down, back, up. Wrap the thread. Pull through. Down to the back. Let's go to this side. I think what I'm going to do is I want the picture in my head is that there's just a bunch of these sort of cascading down from that fabric onto the white fabric. Then I also have, I'm not sure that I'm happy with that one, but it's not always easy to do when it's not right in front of my face. Okay, I also have this is DMC floss. It's gold. It's G3852. I love it. And you see these little those little gold splashes, I'm gonna do something like that. I think I don't want them to, I don't want to do stitches that cross over in the center. I don't want them to cross over each other in the center, because then it'll just make a big blob. But they can go out to the sides, and you know, what am I trying to say? They can go to each side and up and down. They can be very symmetrical, that's what I'm trying to say. I just don't want them to cross each other. So this thread, it's metallic, so it's sort of, you have to sort of bend it or fold it. See what I mean? So now, because slow stitch is slow, it can take a long time, and I can only upload a video that's about an hour long. So I'm going to work on this off camera. Oh, I want to do one more thing that I'm going to show you. Nope, I'm not going to show you because I don't have... See these green leaves? I'm going to do some of those too. But I'm going to do all that off camera and come back because I'm almost at an hour. But I did show you how they go. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I just added a few little flowers there and some gold sprinkled in here and there. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. I like it. Thanks for watching. Bye.